Hey guys, welcome to the Whimsical Workshop. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make the Garden Lattice Quilt featuring QT Fabrics, Exotica Fabrics. So let's get started. Yay! Alright, it's been a little while, but this is a video tutorial for you guys on how to make our newest Garden Lattice Quilt. This was designed by Matthew. It is featuring the QT Fabrics Exotica, which we just did an unboxing video to show you all the prints up close and how beautiful they are. And now we're going to take those fabrics and make them into this quilt. All right, so let's get started. So this is what the block looks like when we're all done. So you need to make 6 of these and then 1 of these. This we're going to add at the end of the row to keep the zigzag going to make the quilt a little bit longer. So I'm going to talk about how to do your block. We're going to do flip and sew twice. We're going to do it on the cream and then we're going to do it on the green. And we're going to do it on both corners. So I'm going to put this guy back up here. This is what we're looking to make. So I'll make myself a little less crazy here. So there it is. There are 2 ways to tackle this. You could take all of your cream and you could sew your green on and do the flip and sews. And then take this whole square on here and flip it out. That can get confusing in the order of which you rotate it. So I would only recommend doing that if you're pretty comfortable doing sewing and doing this technique. What we're going to do is we're going to take our rectangle and we're going to put the cream squares on first. And I'm going to show you 3 different methods on how to do that. And then once these are pressed open, we will go ahead and add the green squares on. So method number 1, there's 3 ways you can do this. I'm going to put that aside just so I don't get in my way. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, can we see all 3? Yes, we can. Perfect. All right, method number 1 is the tried and true traditional method. You take a ruler, you draw a line from corner to corner, and you sew on that line. Now, if you are doing this method, I do recommend using the 45-degree line on your ruler with the edge of the square. It'll help you get a little more accuracy. And then whenever you do draw lines on the back of your fabric or anything that may have a stretchy edge, I recommend starting in the center and going out. And this is a Friction pen. These are iron-off pens. I will put a link below for all the supplies I'm using. You can definitely get it from our website, but all of them are pretty easy to find other places as well as the Garden Lattice pattern will be at thewhimsicalworkshop.com. All right, so method number 1, we've drawn the 1 line. We will take our rectangle. We will lay this square on the rectangle in the direction that we need it, which is why I have that laid here. Because if I do it this way, it's going to flip out that way, which is opposite of what I need. So do pay attention to what order you're doing this. So then we're going to lay this on here like that. We're going to go over to our sewing machine and we're going to sew on the drawn line and flip this triangle open. And then I will go over how to finish the back after we've sewn them on. So we've got method number 1. Method number 2 is using 1/4-inch seam tape, or there's like clearly perfect angles. There's other tools that you can put onto your sewing machine bed so you don't have to mark your squares at all. And I'm going to pull a piece off here and tape it onto my table. So this is the 1/4-inch seam tape. I'm just going to cut a piece off of here. Probably didn't need to make it that long. And I'm going to put it on my cutting table because we're not at the sewing machine. But what you do is you make sure the red line of this tape is your needle line. So you can take a ruler and put it underneath your needle and crank it down and then use that line as a guide. You can use a 1/4-inch line from the ruler or 1/4-inch foot guide. But once you establish this tape, you want to make sure the red line is your needle line and then you have a 1/4-inch line on either side. Now, I take my piece and I align my square, no marking, and I put the tip of it on the red line and I stitch through and make sure as soon as it pops down here that it is also on the red line. and we just follow that line through, and then we don't have to mark anything. So 1/4 inch tape is fast, it's easy. It is not 100% accurate, but again, when you do your flip and sew, if when you flip this out, it's at least 1/8 of an inch or less off, you will catch that in your seam, and it's not the end of the world. That'll become more clear when I show you, but right now, that is method number 2, is using the 1/4 inch tape. Now, method number 3 is the most accurate method, and that is how we mark the square. And so if you have smaller squares, you may already own one of these folded corner clipper rulers. A lot of people find them in their stash and they're like, why do I have this? This is a reason you can use them. But you'll see it's too small for the square. Scoot that up so you can see it. So Creative Grids came out with folded corner clipper extra large rulers that you can lay on the square, and it'll go all the way up to a 10-inch square, which is really, really nice, because most of our sewing machine beds using this tape, that's too much play. You're not going to get your corner up here until you've gone halfway through your square. So I really do like using this for bigger squares. So on this ruler, I am aligning the top edge of the ruler with the top of the fabric, the side edge with the side of the fabric, the bottom with the 5.5-inch line, and this line over here with this other side. Plus, I'm making sure the diagonal is going from corner to corner. I'm using 5 points of reference to draw my line. So I'm going to go ahead and draw that line. Now, the only difference is we did not draw the line. You'll notice this goes from corner to corner. This line is offset. That means when we go over to the sewing machine, you're still going to sew from corner to corner, but this line will be under your 1/4 inch foot guide. This line is a 1/4 inch away from the set where you want to sew. And that means you're using the 1/4 inch foot that is on your machine, which you already are using to be accurate. So we're very comfortable with it. So now you'll notice this has a large triangle and a small triangle. So when you go to position this on your fabric, small triangle always points to the outer corner. Okay, and you'll know because you need to sew from point to point and you want that seam allowance on this side. And then if you do it this way and try to sew it, there's no line. So it's pretty obvious once you get over there, but I like to point that out as a way if you're going to layer these up. Now you go over to your sewing machine and you go ahead and you sew from corner to corner, but you're using that 1/4 inch guide. So I'm going to go ahead and sew these up, and then I'll come back and talk about how to trim them up. So we've got method 1 sewn. I'm going to flip that open. And that's pretty darn accurate. There is still, let's see if I can get it to focus here. There you go. It's a little bit off, which is what all of us are, let's be honest, are pretty used to with this kind of technique. But again, when we go to sew this into a block, you're going to sew a 1/4 inch seam right along here, and it'll get caught and you don't see that it's off, which is why we usually just are okay with that. Now, here is the other method using the ruler. And you'll see, oh, come on, focus. There you go. It's still a hair off, but it's not as much as this guy is. So you can see. And I only finger pressed this. So let's see, there we go. Now you can kind of see if it focuses. There we go. This one is off a bit more. The back one is the traditional method. The front one is the ruler method. So you still have to mark your squares either way. I do recommend using this triangle because you are going to be much more accurate with the triangle ruler. That being said, if you don't want to buy a ruler, do it either of the other 2 methods. You're going to be fine. So next is you have a choice. You can trim off just the center layer and leave the back layer. And I'm just going to steal this triangle because it has a 1/4 inch line on it. And then you can really see, because of the blue, you can kind of see how off it is. Now, I wouldn't recommend that with this one because as you can see the darker fabric through the lighter. But if you're brand new, you really want this to be accurate. We know the rectangle has not been manipulated. So you would leave your back rectangle on, and then when you go to sew, you use the edge of the rectangle, not the triangle, to sew things into place. But in this case, because it is so dark and so patterned, I would get rid of both layers and flip that guy out. So now we have this one, and we need to get to these here. I'm going to just set this guy aside for now. So we're going to do the same thing on the little triangle or the little squares to create the little triangles. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to use my favorite method. You can use whichever of the three. And again, I'm using a Frixion Iron Off pen. I didn't quite draw that line up there. I really needed to. There we go. Now we're going to go ahead again, smaller triangle points out, and we're going to sew smaller triangle points out, and we're going to go ahead and use my 1/4 inch foot on the drawn line, and then these guys will flip out, and we will have our next block that we need for this guy. So let me go sew those on, and I'll be right back. And there we go. Those are sewn on, and they flip out. Just like that. And again, you can choose in this case to either just take away the cream, or I'm sorry, just take away the green and leave the cream. And that way, when you go to sew, you can use that cream as your background. Because as you're adding these, every time you do a flip and sew, you're getting it a little more distorted, a little more distorted. So in this case, I would probably vote to leave the cream in the back and just get rid of the green. And that is how you make the units. Now, once you have those units done, this guy needs to be pressed. We would go ahead and we're going to sew the units together. And I like to start, when I sew these guys, I like to start at the end that doesn't have everything I have to match. And then as I get here, I can course correct to make sure I'm hitting those points. They're going to line up for me. And that's how we make our blocks. Then, like I said before, what do we got here? I've got blocks everywhere. This is how you get messed up and make a mistake when you go to sew it together. So we got that block and that block. And then these guys are those. And then now I've got these. We're going to go ahead and we're going to sew the blocks together. And when you're sewing the blocks together, you're paying attention to the zigzag. And then when we go to sew the rows together, which I've already done for the whole quilt except for this last row. So here is the whole quilt finished, except for row 1. I'm going to just move these out of the way so I can lay it on the table and you can see what I'm going to talk about next. So here's one whole row and here's one whole row. And now we're just trying to put these green guys together. Now, I will admit I had hand surgery and I sewed this with one hand. It's so easy, you can do it that way. But because of that, my accuracy was not 100%. And you can see here where this one matched, this one did not. And this one matched and this one did not. When this is quilted, nobody is going to notice if they're a little bit off. If it bothers you, you can continue to correct that. But for this, it is a very, very forgiving pattern. So let me just hold this guy up for you. And you can see how it looks. And I think that blue row goes right on this side. So we're just missing the one row. No borders, super easy, very fun. You can quilt it really modern with zigzags or stitch in the ditch or straight lines, or you can go super feminine and do florals all over it, or you can do whimsical with dots. There's any which way you quilt this will pick up the personality of the quilting. It's a great canvas to practice on. And that is how you're going to make the Garden Lattice quilt featuring QT Fabrics, Exotica fabric. The quilt pattern was designed by Matthew Pridemore. The Garden Lattice pattern is available at the whimsicalworkshop.com. Fabric is coming soon. Ask your local quilt shop about Exotica fabric from QT Fabrics. And we're so excited to have partnered with them on this project. Please leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think about the video, the quilt, the fabric. Do you want to see more Do you want to see more tutorial videos going forward on quilting, sewing, embroidery, or other crafts? Just let me know in the comments below. As always, I want to thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.